During this joyful Easter season, we celebrate the presence of the risen Christ with us. We hear stories about the development of the early church, about their efforts to evangelize the world with the gospel of Christ's message. And we hear about their efforts to bring people to the faith, their wonderful missionary spirit. In that same missionary spirit, I come to you today. My name is Father Lincoln Dahl, and I am a diocesan priest from the Diocese of Jackson, Mississippi. I think when you hear about a mission appeal coming to your parish, you think it's probably going to be a missionary who's coming from a faraway land. Well, I come from missionary territory right here in our own country. When you think of Mississippi, you probably think about the deep south of the Bible Belt here in the United States, and that would be a very true perception. We actually are the largest diocese in the United States geographically located east of the Mississippi River. And even though geographically we're so large, we actually have the lowest percentage of Catholics of any diocese in our entire country. Only about 2.3% of our population here in the Diocese of Jackson is Catholic. However, we've had priests and Catholics here in the territory that would become Mississippi since the days of the Spanish conquistadors. Then, after Mississippi became a state in 1837, Pope Gregory XVI established the Diocese of Jackson. We have about 90 parishes and missions located in our diocese. However, due to the rural nature of Mississippi, most of those parishes and missions are rather small. There are many counties in our diocese that only have one parish, and actually there's some counties that don't have a parish at all. As my first assignment as pastor, I was assigned to the region of the Mississippi Delta in our state. That is a region of rich farmland located in the north of the state of Mississippi along the Mississippi River. I served in the towns of Yazoo City and Belzona. And even though it is an area of rich farmland, it's actually one of the most impoverished regions of our entire country. In that assignment, I had 3 parishes and 2 prisons where I ministered. The area, 2 counties where I served, Yazoo County and Humphreys County, was very large. It actually encompassed 1,400 square miles. To put that into perspective, Orange County, which is the entire Diocese of Orange, is less than 1,000 square miles. However, while Orange County is more than 3 million people, the area I covered was only 37,000 inhabitants, quite sparsely populated. The main parish I had, St. Mary's in Yazoo City, was established in 1856 and had a very beautiful historic old church building. On Saturday evenings, I used to drive from Yazoo City to Belzona. That was about 30 miles each way. And on that 30-mile trip, there were no villages or towns or anything I would go through. It would all be desolate farmland, bayous, and swamp areas. Not a lot of people at all. Humphreys County, where Belzona is located, when I served there, had the highest child poverty rate and the lowest median family income of any county in the entire United States. Right now, I am serving in the parish of St. Jude in Rankin County, which again is a very rural county located just outside of the city of Jackson. In addition to being pastor, for the last 4 years, I've been serving in the Chancery Office of the Diocese. For the first year, I served as the Director of Finance for the Diocese, since I have a background as an accountant. And then for the last 3 years, I've been serving as Vicar General for the Diocese of Jackson. Well, you can probably tell from my accent, I do not really have much of a Southern drawl. That's because I'm not native of Mississippi. However, you might detect a little bit of California in my accent. Even though I'm a native of Chicago, my family moved to the city of Santa Ana in Orange County when I was 12 years old. That's where I grew up as a teenager and where I went to high school. I'm actually a convert to the Catholic faith. I went through the RCIA program at St. Norbert Catholic Church in the city of Orange and entered the church at Easter Vigil in 1992. I was so on fire with the faith. At that time, I became a lay missionary. I served up in Canada for 3 years. Most of that time was serving at a soup kitchen and food bank in the city of Winnipeg in the province of Manitoba. Afterwards, I served in the country of Ecuador in South America for 3 years with the Comboni missionaries, a Catholic missionary order. I was in a jungle rainforest setting for that assignment. While I was preparing to come here for the mission appeal, I thought about something that happened in our diocese way back in 2016. I had pneumonia, and I was actually staying with some family members trying to recover from that. And a friend of mine called me from Mississippi, asking me if I had just seen what was reported on CNN. They said that there were 2 nuns in Mississippi who were reported as being killed. Sister Margaret Held was a member of the School Sisters of St. Francis from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Sister Paula Merrill was a Sister of Charity from Nazarene, Kentucky. Both of them had worked at a medical clinic in Holmes County, a very rural, poor county in central Mississippi. In fact, it was estimated that about a third of the residents of that county were patients at their clinic and depended on their medical services. Unfortunately, one of their patients had a mental illness, and he stabbed both these sisters to death. The state had announced that they wanted to pursue the death penalty against this man. However, our diocese, the 2 religious orders, and the families of these 2 sisters, as a witness of faith, said that we were against the death penalty. That was quite a witness in the state of Mississippi, where capital punishment is very popular. They accepted our plea, and the man who killed those 2 sisters is currently serving a term in prison here in Mississippi. I remember attending the funeral mass of the 2 sisters at our cathedral in Jackson. That was a very emotional time for all of us. I bring up Sister Margaret and Sister Paula because I believe the love in which they served their community, their witness of faith, and their missionary spirit is so very indicative of our diocese. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to share stories about our diocese today with you. As brothers and sisters in the faith, I think it's so important for us to share our stories with each other and to realize that there is indeed missionary territory here in the United States. Again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your support.